All right, MiningClips back here, San Francisco, Gold and Silver Summit 2017. I've got Bo Polny from Gold 2020 Forecast. That is correct, right, Bo? And I want to get an in-depth gold forecast from this guy, and he's got some models that say it could be very profitable in this sector. Bo, why don't you walk us around this?
Appreciate having me. Thanks so much, Rob. What I foresee happening is a lot of excitement. You know, the gold and especially silver sector has been suppressed for like years. We've had since the top of silver at $49 and gold at $1,900 back in 2011, we've had 6 years of misery. And the mining sector, I don't think there's been a worse thing you could have invested in. Mining, never mind the junior miners. They have been completely terrible for 6 years. And if you look at even the mining sector, from 30 years, really they've gone nowhere. It's been incredible, the price suppression that's been played and the controls that have been instilled on gold, silver, especially the mining sector for the past 30 years is truly sickening. And what I foresee happening, I can token the word or the phrase, a December to remember, but I do believe we are at the doorstep, at the cusp of a very, very large financial shift in our world. I think it all begins here now. When I say here and now, I think by the end of this year, we're supposed to see a breakout on the precious metals, and in doing so, we're going to see a very nice move on the mining sector, including that especially of the junior miners. So gold, silver, and the whole mining sector is about to have liftoff here in December.
What's going to drive this? I mean, I can name a million things that, overinflated markets, central banks cutting rates. I mean, there's a million reasons, but what do you specify why we're going higher?
That is actually a fantastic question, and truly I don't have the answer for you. When I do my pattern, my cycle work, it shows me that something's coming, but to foretell or to guess the event, it's to be nothing more than a guess. But I can say this, it's going to have to be something that we have not seen before, because they can control everything. The markets are manipulated. Every single market in the world is manipulated, whether Netanyahu, whether the guy over there in North Korea, whether he sneezes, doesn't sneeze, has a cold, doesn't have a cold, threatens war, doesn't threaten war. Gold goes up and down, but it doesn't matter. They control it. It's all controlled. And we need an event, and I believe we will have an event which will be outside of anything we've seen before. And that event is going to cause a lack, or better word, a loss of control on manipulation. And we're going to see gold and silver lift off. They will immediately counter and attack gold and hammer it back down, but that will be the beginning of the absolute end of manipulation. And by next year, my topic today that I talked about was Surprise Gold Rush 2018. We're about to have the largest, the most powerful, the most exciting gold rush the world has ever seen, and we are literally at the doorstep of it.
Wow. Over the last several years, you talked about this sector just literally being imploded. The dilution is what really strikes me. When these things lift off, when the metals really take off, will it matter about this dilution, or they just all fly because they're so tightly held in the overall scheme of things?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter what particular stock you own. I think this, obviously some of the more majors might do better, but then again, some of the junior sector, those things could just go crazy because they've been suppressed so terribly. So, like silver, right? Whatever has been the most hated will be the most loved come 2018. So if you hate silver, you will love it in 2018 because the cycles are foretelling massive new highs on gold and silver, and also the mining sector. And so because the mining sector has been so suppressed, including especially the junior miners, if silver's going to take off, the junior miners are going to do the exact same thing as silver. And both silver and the junior miners, I think, are going to have liftoff, and it's like rising tide. Everything comes up. Yes, some will outperform others. But generally speaking, I think the most hated, which is what you should be looking at, will be the most loved. And that's why I truly believe, in terms of performance, silver will far outperform gold into next year.
You talked earlier about crypto. Well, we didn't talk earlier about it, but I think you did a little talk about cryptocurrencies. Certainly something that I'm delving into, and it's a really tough nut to crack, in my opinion. Why do you make the case for cryptocurrencies here?
Well, cryptocurrencies is an alternate form of money. That's the best way you can look at it. It's an alternate form of money outside the system, so you don't need a central bank to control it. I can send money, or you can send money if you have it, anywhere in the world in a fraction of a second, and it's an agreed upon monetary system, agreed upon not by you or me, but by everybody in the world that's using it, and there are now millions of people that are using it, and they've all agreed it to be money. So because they've all agreed, it's money, and it has a huge future. I do see Bitcoin specifically hitting 10,000 was my talk today. It was a $10,000 Bitcoin. In the presentation today, I did mention that it will be there in December. So do not be surprised to see $10,000 Bitcoin in December. But that's only the first step. It will go higher next year, but then there's a problem for Bitcoin next year. It will top. So there will be a significant cycle, a multi-month top is going to come in next year. We do have the time point for that. But the case is that the bottom line is people are searching for alternatives to money, and especially when this monetary shift hits, that's going to propel gold, is going to propel silver. Cryptocurrencies are going to be, they're nothing right now, they're just simply leading gold and silver, what's about to happen to them. And so Bitcoin will top out, or will have a significant high next year, and then you will see gold and silver really have the next massive, powerful leg. But yeah, cryptos and Bitcoin they're nothing but agreed upon money throughout the world that people that's been front running gold and silver. And then once the breakout occurs in gold and silver, then gold and silver are going to leap and take off, and they're going to have a very strong future. And Bitcoin, I think, will slow down.
Well, I can hardly wait to run you down again. Again, this is Bo Polny, Gold 2020 Forecast. Appreciate your time.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Rob.